What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business. My name is Jay. You know, my goal every Tuesday night is to bring you another trade show level business presentation to you wherever you are, because your automotive business deserves the latest in transportation and logistics news. And if you're busy, and I know you are, in a minute, I'm going to give the welcome show lineup. If you're watching on demand, you'll know what to expect. You can use the clickable video time code links in the video description below. Please do use those. Feel free to skip ahead, like, share, tell your friends. Thanks for watching ATI. We sure do appreciate it. IARA Summer Roundtable 2023, August 22nd through 24th. That's next week on Michigan Avenue in Chicago, is where the voice of the consignor and the certified auto remarketer will network, educate, share, learn best practices in auto remarketing. So tonight, on the Energy Show, we're featuring Jose Delgado, Chief Client and Operations Officer at Location Services, Doug Hadden, Vice President at ACV Auctions, Scott Kolb, Vehicle Lifecycle and Mobility Strategist, Dave Sutton, VP, Business Development and Industry Relations at Montway, Aria Tactaquin, Business Development Executive at RCG Logistics, Gigi Ferris, Sales Executive, Hansen and Adkins Auto Logistics, and Becky Anderson, President at Cars Recon. So please do join the live chat, ask your questions, share your thoughts, grow your business, break out of your vertical, because it's Tuesday nights live on ATI Auto Business. My name is Jay. I'm your host. Welcome back to the show. Ecosystem, welcome back to ATI. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit in on the live newsroom. We have a heck of a show for you tonight. It was a lot of work to put this one together. A lot of shows are a lot of work, but they're worth it. We've got a heck of a panel, and there's been a lot of preparation, but also should be a lot of unknown, actually. We're celebrating the Summer Roundtable at IARA. It is one of those events that we've talked a lot about. We've had the IARA on our show many times, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Dagnabbit. I want you to feel welcome. Please do feel welcome. I'll try not to ring the bell too loud. Sorry, podcasters. Please do say hello in the live chat. We're going to go into the live chat here in a few minutes, and I want to say hello. And I want to know, do you want to know, do you know what this is? Do you know why this is? Do you know where this is? You know what this is, right? And people ask us, and we're going to bring this up throughout the show. People do ask us, hey guys, should I go to this show? Stay tuned for the answer. Industry news is coming up, and I'm going to spend the first half of the industry news just talking about, oh my gosh, how much content we've done promoting the IARA and Summer Roundtable. It's a lot. Stick around for the second half. The Pulse, which is straight up industry news. If you don't follow the trades, you're going to get it here. We're going to bring in Ty. And Ty and I, again, are going to walk down memory lane as we move into the, wow, this future show. These energy shows have become something. And it all started with, a few years ago, we'll talk about that as far as, you know, what we did and how we got here. But we're going to bring in Jose Delgado. He is our friend, and more. He is the face of Location Services, the voice. We're lucky to have him. Location Services is a sponsor of the Summer Roundtable, so we're lucky to have Jose joining us. We're going to bring in some marketing experts, because what is the purpose, right? The voice of the consignor. What is that? What is certified auto remarketing? What is that? We're big into education, so we have 3 remarketing experts, Scott Kolb, Dave Sutton, Doug Hadden, who are all going to chime in on this topic. That is going to be awesome. Wow. I mean, it's like a panel. Well, it is a panel. It's live on ATI. And then we're going to bring in the Summer Roundtable panel as we move in towards the show. Aria, Tactaquin, Gigi, Ferris, Becky Anderson, and we got a full show. And that is the deal. So we're going to be talking about IARA, Summer Roundtable, and what that show means to you. If you don't know what it means, we want to help you learn more. There's a membership aspect to the IARA. There's car certification. What is that? So, right? And that is the thing. I know this. I learned long ago that I'm the guy that'll raise his hand and ask the really, really dumb questions. And so I do it live because I know I'm not alone all the time. So I'm here to help, right? Because what is this stuff and why are we talking about it? We're here to talk about it. Listen, if you have the opportunity and you can find the like button, I know it's tough to find. There's a like laying around here somewhere. If you can find it, please do leave it for us. You can go even further. I'm not even asking for money. Just click share, click copy, grab that YouTube link. Money's cool too. And if you don't know what we're doing, you can call our text Ty 417-483-2764, and he will be happy to answer and help you learn. I even put his number in the live chat. Probably the most putting outist number out there. We share it all the time. 417-483-2764. Putting outist? I don't know. Let me ponder that. Do me a favor, stick around, because right after this, we're going to go into the live chat. We'll be right back.
AuctionVCommerce is the universal support solution to help brick-and-mortar auctions respond to the needs of digital buyers and sellers with greater efficiency, accountability, and more access. AuctionVCommerce is a bridge between the dealers of the past and the auction of the future.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verifications of loads where nobody ever answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021, or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Do you need help staying loaded or moving a car? That's the voice of Sue. She runs a dispatch office. She's a fully licensed broker. She's my co-host on Thursdays, Dispatching Live. Visit murphyautotransportservices.com. Links are in the live chat. Let's go into the live chat, shall we? Can I get a drum roll? Please. Oh, look at that money. Woo! Oh, yeah, you need that button. Oh, yeah. So Chris Chamberlain's got in here. And Ty got in here. Wow. Thank you guys for the super chats. Thanks so much. Chris Chamberlain is a huge fan of the show, and actually, Chris helps define the audience. People ask me, of course they ask me. I mean, why wouldn't you? Jay, who's watching? Who's the audience? And you know what's interesting? We test the audience. I'm sure Chris can testify to this. Is that I think we've lost a lot of our old audience, and that's okay. Actually, shoot, man. I mean, how many car haulers are still in business? You think that's funny? That ain't funny. That ain't funny at all. It's true, though. I know. I'm not supposed to talk about it. But you know what? I guarantee 6 years ago when I started this channel about dispatching on load boards and whatnot, half of those people are way out of this business by now. So we're not here to cater to an audience. We're here to climb Pike's Peak of automotive information. And anybody that wants to come along with us for this crazy journey, that's who's watching ATI. Got that out of the way? All right, good. You feel better? All right, cool. And I just want to say, thank you to those that have stuck with us. We feel like we're really doing something. And I mean, I'm looking at the live viewers too. Newsflash. Not everybody knows what the IARA does. Not everybody knows what car certification is. Shoot, a lot of people don't even know why, what's there to learn about an auction, right? You drive in the parking lot, you trade gate passes, whether wadded up or not, and then you get the heck out of there. That's it, right? That's all there is. No, that's not all there is. There's way more. And that's why we do this. We want to talk about the auctions and remarketing and the consigners. It's not just what happens in the lane. It's before the lane, after the lane. Where do you think your auto transport moves come from, right? That's why we do this. So I think you can tell by the live views that is a problem, right? It should be much higher. There should be a lot more people invested in this kind of remarketing conversation. That's one of my messages tonight. I think I have several. Let's go into the live chat. Well, I thought we were already there, Jay. All right, let's go to the top. I know, it's that kind of show. Ty got in here first. Ty, cars in the move. Car haulers rock. Yeah, they do rock. We need them. And if we don't fix some of these problems, well, anyways, what are you talking about, Jay? You're way ahead. That's Tuesday Night's Live Industry News. It's on the way. Kimberly is here. Welcome to Tuesday Night's Live. We're glad you are here. Thank you so much. If you need help in the live chat, Kimberly's got your back. Chris Chamberlain is here. Yo, what's up? Where is everyone? And then we got the super chat. Thank you so much, Chris. Questions Imposed is back. See, it's interesting when we see people return. There's something going on. We've talked about it. It's like Cheers, except Cheers, there's no math exam. We have a bar with an exam. So, but you don't have to take the exam now or anytime, really. You can. Carlos Braxton is here. ACB Logistics in the house. Thanks, Carlos. Part of the core. Really do appreciate it, buddy. Will Morris. Hey, Jay. Good to be back. Great to see you, Will. That's awesome, man. So awesome. I'm glad you're here. Justin at National Car Shipping Inc. Whoa. Hey, back in 2009 when I started, Craigslist would have 60 job openings for auto transport brokers in South Florida. Now there may be one listing. That is awesome. Oh, thank God. Because, just as I say, you can throw a rock and hit an automotive podcast. Back in 2009, you could throw a rock and hit somebody who wanted to get into brokering, right? Okay, right. Awesome. Way less brokers than there used to be for sure. Well, and there's way less carriers. We think, and in fact, how many carriers are there? There's a company that posts on social media that they have 17,000 carriers. I can't figure it. I can't figure it. Not only given the qualifications it takes to get signed up with you guys, but also, are there 17,000 carriers, like, even hauling right now? Like, legit auto transport car haulers. Now, if we include company drivers, owner-operators, and then, those driveway centipede guys, maybe. That's not right. Chris, they're catching up. Mark Grodicke, thank you so much. Oh, geez. I moved my buttons around. No, that's not it either. Thank you so much. This is the craziest show. Yeah, no, legit, it is. Oh gosh, it's 7:15 already. Well, that went fast. I gotta go. I gotta do this. We're gonna go into industry news. We got a lot more shows, so stick around. We'll be right back. Location Services, collateral recovery with pinpoint precision and advanced proprietary technologies. Your single source for nationwide collateral recovery. LS Recovery, certified and compliant. LS Skip, experienced recovery. LSPR, advanced plate recognition. LS Impound, precision capture. LS Remarketing, nationwide auction partners. LS Keys, professional locksmith. LS Transport to any destination. LS Titles, verified documentation. LS Auto Notice, secure fulfillment. One contact, one contract, we do it all. Location Services.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market, and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the U.S. So you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our Price Watch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
Are you searching for that midnight auto shipping quote and new lead software you can trust? Provide instant, accurate quotes online with Transport Auto Quoter and get the price right the first time. Visit transportautoquoter.com. If you have any questions, Mark is right there. Superflow Systems, Pro ABD, and Transport Auto Quoter equals strong business. Links in the live chat. Mark is happy to answer your questions. Take it for a test drive. You shouldn't be guessing when you quote a price. Nobody should be guessing. But, you know, okay. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Killing me. All right. IARA Summer Roundtable Energy 2023, show 307 in a row. By the way, I misquoted what show we were on recently, but it is 307 in a row. IARA Summer Roundtable. Now, it all started... the energy series on ATI actually started with Roundtable. Let's see, I made some notes here. Roundtable 2021. Here's my notes. Let's go through it. Now, IARA Summer Roundtable is an annual event, and this is their 22nd annual event. It's next week in Chicago. And here's what's interesting. Maybe you don't know anything we're talking about, but I know you know some of those logos and company names. That's a great place to start, by the way, when you're getting your feet wet in an association or a trade show. Just look at sponsors and you can learn more about who's going to be there and participation. Their premier sponsors, Manhunt. Their diamond sponsors, America's Auto Auction. Platinum sponsors, Odessa, Copart, IAG. RCG Logistics is a platinum sponsor, and Aria's on the show tonight. Gold sponsors, IAA, Partners in Asset Recovery, Privacy for Cars, ServNet Auction Group. Silver sponsors, ACV. We got ACV on the show tonight. You got Auto IMS, Open Lane, which was Car Global, Smart Auction. And then friends include Auction Edge, American Recovery Service, Carfax, Dent Wizard, Element, Location Services. Location Services is on the show tonight, and SRS. So, I mean, you learn a lot just by looking at who's on the placard. And Martin Romju, unfortunately, can't make it here tonight. He is a reporter, and he works at Bobbitt Media. He's a friend of the show. He wrote this article about IARA hitting higher stats as Roundtable approaches, and it's on track to grow its membership. They could hit 300 folks in Chicago next week. Again, promotes itself as the voice of the consignor, drawing industry professionals including auctions, dealers, finance, logistics, transportation. It's right there. Reconditioning and other remarketing. And top line goals are these are from the IARA. Top goals: become an even better communicator with its members and with the industry, work on ways to add even more value for members, and lay the foundation for an even bigger IARA member tent. And I went ahead and added that, you know what we're good at on ATI? We're good at helping folks become an even better communicator, and we're good at helping folks make their tent even bigger. So I wanted to point that out. Interesting how we have common goals. Pretty cool to see that. Also, this is pretty big this year. We'll learn more about this next week when we're live at the show. But they have a new expansion called GROW, Global Remarketing Opportunities for Women, founded by Shelley Frank, our friend Kelly Bianchi, and Sheila Tedesco. And we're going to be learning more about that in the coming days. You know, we look at the full ecosystem. I said this every week. I've been saying it every week for years. New cars, used cars, auctions, dealers, shippers, brokers, carriers, dispatchers, equipment, everybody. I don't know if there is a bigger tent, actually. But that's our big tent. And so tonight, we are looking again at the intersection of the auction, the dealer, the shipper, the service provider. Again, seems right in line with those goals put forth by the IARA. Pretty cool. We talk about front of the store, back of the store. ATI wants, if you're always at the front of the store in sales, we want you to walk around back. See what it looks like to execute the sale that was made. And if you're in the back and you never walk around to the front, take a look at what they're selling. You might want to take a look. Might help your sales process. Might help you grow your business. We follow the disconnect between sales and operations. Not only do we say it, we actually follow it, and then we happen to see it more often. It's out there. You see it all the time. Because you wonder, how did that happen? Well, I think there was a disconnect between sales and operations. Dude, where's my car? How did that happen? Disconnect between sales and operations. How about, do you understand the carrier? The carrier is hunting down cars and hunting down people and hunting down payment. Do you think there's a disconnect between sales and operations? Okay, all right, that's 3. That's enough. Auto Transport Community Media since 2017. That's ATI Auto Business. We are your neutral zone. Yes, we love to talk about our subscribers and our videos, but more importantly, we are the ecosystem's neutral zone. Sound like a State of the Union moment. Okay. All right, let's go recollecting. Now, I don't like to talk about this. We're going to move quickly. But COVID took over 2020, so nothing happened. Right? Right. And there were empty streets, and people were like, man, what's that Zoom thing? I was like, I'm already on Zoom. Welcome back. So then in March 2021, I was working with IARA on I think it was January, February. I was working with Michelle Pirogue, and I helped host a panel, which was online because people couldn't, see each other, be around each other. And that turned into a transportation logistics panel show on ATI with a car program overview. So this goes back to spring 2021. And, man, great stuff. There's Dave Sutton, there's Jeff Besher, Tony Long, Michelle Pirogue. And this is the beginning of the ATI IARA journey, spring 2021. And so it goes that it was summer 2021 that I came up with the idea for an energy series, which we now do for many trade shows. My gosh, maybe 10 a year now. And the energy series is, I say, so much work went into the trade show. Why don't we extend the amount of energy, momentum, and work that went into that? Let's do shows before the show. Let's do shows after the show. And so the energy series has become that. which tonight is IARA Summer Roundtable Energy 2023. And so here's a photo from Energy 2021. There's Becky Anderson, Joe Miller, Matt Arias, John Robertson. There's Martin, Dave Sutton, Ron Hope. Ron is Becky's father. And, I mean, that's great stuff. And it's so interesting now. It really does seem like, vintage footage already. This is 2 years ago. I know. Hold on to your boots. So then we went, and it was live, and then we went live. That was the energy show. Then we went live in San Antonio. And there's Ty, there's Scott Kolb, Charlie Vogelheim, and it's amazing. I mean, we feel like we really accomplished some great things. There's Scott and Joe Miller. There's Martin. There's Becky. We're doing live coverage, live at the show, and it was great. And there's Ty meeting Ben. This guy, man, Ben Lang. We got to get him back on the show. We loved it so much, we did it after the Roundtable show. I don't even know, which we now call the Evolution series. At that time, we hadn't even evolved to Evolution. Go figure. So after the Roundtable, that was a picture that Ty actually shot in one of the committee rooms after it was empty. Great stuff. And those committee meetings, they meant a lot. And they do mean a lot. It's a big part of the conference. We also had an IARA 20th anniversary show that fall, 2021. Martin had written an article, and I thought, let's do a show, right? That's what ATI is here for. We're the most live automotive YouTube channel, dude. Really. I don't think anybody goes live as much as we do. I know that's crazy. Check it. Let me know if there is one that does it more. I really don't know who it is. So we celebrated the IARA 20th anniversary. There's Matt. Oh, wow. David was with us. Martin, Jeff Bescher again. Tony Long again. Charlie Vogelheim. You're seeing a pattern, right? We got friends in high places. And it's great. It's a wonderful thing. Car Conference Energy 2022 then rolls around. Really, again, there it is. Tony again. Jeff again. We got Pennywana. Joe again. Matt again. Martin again. And we're really developing this momentum, and we're loving it. And it's neat. It's awesome. It's educational. Keep learning more about what the IARA does. We had a car certification insight show. There's Scott again, Tony again, Dave again, Becky again. Lisa Hanmer joined us for that one. Mike Antich of Bobbitt Media made it in. I mean, this is a lot of content. You think of all the work that went into just putting it together, scheduling the show, doing the show, sharing the info, just making this slide took a while. So then IARA Roundtable 2022 rolls around. That's 1 year ago. Anybody remember what that was in Nashville? I remember now. And so here's that show. Jeff Bescher again. Martin again. Now we had Andrea Amico. We had Jeremy Luisos. And and it's just a continuation. It's wonderful stuff. We'll keep going. Then we went live at the Roundtable, live in Nashville. And I think it's at this one that Ty actually started to open his mouth at a committee meeting about transportation. Let me know if I'm right on that one. Because I don't think, Ty, I think in 2021 you were an observer. In 2022, Ty was a participant. Things move quickly. So then we did, now already back to the beginning of this year in car. Now Car Conference and IARA are similar beings, and we'll talk about that more tonight. But you see like some of the same faces. Martin again, who's with Bobbitt Media, host of Car Conference. There's Tony Long again. We had Doug Turner, Jeff Bescher, Michelle Pirogue. Holly Vallant joined us for that one. And again, you see this, IARA Conference of Automotive Remarketing connection. Okay, I was right about that. Cool. And so the momentum brings us to now. IARA Summer Roundtable live in Chicago, August 2023. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity to Made by Humans with Expert Opinions. It's just kind of a pausing moment. But we say that here because we are humans, we have expert opinions, and this is where we start to wonder if Are we all on the same page? I sat in on, I just shared the car conference of this year. These are actually notes. You can see the date. May 28th, 2023. How in God's earth I found these? Actually, it wasn't that hard. I don't know. I usually seem to, things that I find really interesting and relevant I keep around. And it says 1 p.m. 1 p.m. and Penny is talking. This is one of the beginning committee meetings of Car Conference in March this year. And I wrote 50 plus people in the room, and they were talking, Penny's talking about the transportation modules. There's 20 of them, 4,000 plus words. And who's in the room? Auctions, IARA, Car Conference, Dealer, Legal, Finance, Remarketing, Next Gear, Car, Auction Academy, Training, Pre-owned Auto Logistics, Reconditioning, Bobbit Media, Auto IMS, Cox Automotive, Used Car News, Big Valley Auto Auction. And the reason I was struck at, this was it seemed like a really important committee meeting. And I bring this up because this moment will again exist next week in Chicago on Michigan Avenue at IARA Summer Roundtable. It's important. And some of the things that also get said in these committee meetings are important. Here's a quote. I circled it. Can you see it? We need to get young people involved. Actual quote. So is that happening? And how are you doing that? Wouldn't we be good at that? That was one of the things. Those are thoughts I had while sitting there. I was like, wow. Wow, I think we'd be good at that. We'd be really good at that. Compliance, education, and training. Oh, here's a question I had. Can I access a video online explaining a brief overview of each module? And if not, if we could help, would that be useful? Nurturing young business professionals online. Short videos of terminology. What's the audit and compliance module? Recertification updates. I just had a lot of great ideas. I'm telling you, great committee meeting. Awesome meeting. I had a lot of ideas, which brings me back to this slide. We're humans with expert opinions, and we share them, and that's what we are about. That's what ATI is here for. So, I'm sad to say, although happy to say, I suppose, that Tony Long has moved on to the American Recovery Association. He's no longer with IARA. And I tell you, I think that this is really exciting. This is awesome for the American Recovery Association to receive somebody of the high caliber of Tony Long. Dude. Put your hands up. Really, that's awesome, man. So we're going to learn more about that in the coming days. I'm just going to say this. Joe Miller, also at the car conference in March. Joe Miller, who had already been kind of on the outs. He's a great guy. Everybody loves him. He was so popular when he was live talking, but after, I guess, his announcement of his departure, or, I'm not sure. I know I was in the room, and I saw, wow, where is everybody? I thought maybe I'm in the wrong room. There was such a small attendance to his panel that they just sat down at a table and talked. And I thought, man, what's going on? I did not get the memo. And I did do a show where I talked about the ACV versus NAAA lawsuit. And, that's just a news story. And that's one of the things. At ATI, we're going to continue to report the news. I think we learned a lot about the industry itself by doing this show, reading this. And so, thank you, Dave. Thank you for putting that in the live chat. You'll also notice on shows that we have, sometimes we'll have somebody in the live chat saying something that we're just not so sure about. We do that here at ATI. I don't know how to explain how we do, but we think it's important. ACV is a major player. ACV is on our IARA Summer Roundtable Energy Show tonight. We don't ship cars. We move information. We suggest you give us a try. Come back, test the waters again, because ATI we're about the automotive industry. Cars need to move. They need to get sold, they need to get bought, and they need to get moved. And that's what we talk about here too. So if there's other politics and stuff, yeah, you're right. We're not really going to cover politics. Unless it becomes part of the news, then we'll report on the news. But we're an automotive industry channel. That's why it's called ATI Auto Business. All right. That's why we're so excited. Location Services is with us here tonight. I'm happy to point out when I see, social media that helps reinforce information by leveraging strategic auction partnerships. You can utilize our team's vast knowledge of the remarketing industry. Jose Delgado is up first tonight of Location Services on ATI. We're happy to have Dave Sutton here. Here's another social media post about Edge Pipeline and Montway Auto Transport. I'll bet you $1 if you see Dave Sutton and he doesn't talk about the great news of Edge Pipeline, I owe you $1. Let me know. Keep me posted. And I also am happy to see other folks that we just met through networking. We just met Gigi Ferris at the NIADA convention, and we're happy to talk about all associations and conventions in front of other associations and conventions because it's all part of the automotive industry business that we're talking about. So Gigi is working with Hansen and Adkins. She's on the show tonight, so we're excited to have her first time on ATI. Well, she made it on the live coverage at NIADA. So I'm just going to remind everybody, one of the goals of ATI happens to be to become an even better communicator and to lay foundation for an even bigger tent. That's what we do. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can email me, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Put it in the live chat. Put it in the comments below. And we know this is how you get your car shipping business news. Yes, I'm a little late. I'm a little bit late. That's okay. I don't mind. Because every Tuesday night, I got 5 new questions. That's right, 5 new questions. Play Are You a Car Shipping Guru? Ask Larry, powered by Superflow Systems, Transport Auto Quoter. Question 1, here we go. Which of the following markets could be described as the controlled disposal of fleet and rental vehicles that have come to the end of their term? Disposal of fleet and rental vehicles that have come to the end of their term. What do we call this? We're going to move quickly tonight because we take a little bit of extra time. The answer is, this is called vehicle remarketing. Remarketing. Keyword remarketing. You're going to hear that word. Every time you hear the word remarketing, drink. See, Dave's like, come on, Jay. It was such a good show. Question 2. CAR in the IARA CAR certification program stands for what? Is it California Asset Recovery, Collaborative Audience Roundtable, Conference of Auction Reconditioners? No, it is Certified Automotive Remarketer. Remarketer. Right? Why? There's 20 modules. What are you going to do with that? Well, I think we're going to talk about that tonight. Ty and I have always been impressed with the CAR certification program. We've even tossed around the idea of him going through the CAR certification program, or at least becoming a member of the IARA. Remember the people that contact us asking us if they should go to the show? Question 3. The mission of the CAR program is to enhance and promote the profession of vehicle remarketing, elevate the conflict between carriers, brokers, and dispatchers, inform dealers that OEMs are moving towards electrification, or increase the value of used vehicles being transported. If you said remarketing, you need to drink, okay? Remarketing. All right, here we go. Question 4. Never done it like this before. IARA stands for Inside Auto Refurbishers Act, International Arbitration Repossession Association, If and Remedy Assets, or what's that word? It is remarketing. Question 5, here we go. A third party that sends vehicles to the auction to be sold for a fee is called is it a consignor, a mystery shopper, a white knight, or an arbitrator? Wow, the word remarketing's not in this one? I'm lost. Everybody's guessing so fast trying to keep up. Maybe I need to always do it this way. And the answer is a consignor. A third party that sends vehicles to the auction to be sold for a fee. And that's really what consignment is a consignor utilizes a third party to sell their goods on their behalf and keep part of the transaction as a fee. I believe that's right. We're going to learn more about it tonight. And here's the good news. Anything I'm wrong about, number one, you're used to it. And number two, we're going to learn more about it tonight. That's the whole point of having a show. So do me a favor, stick around, because right after this, we're going to go into Industry News Part 2. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's August. You know what that means. It's time for our August Lucky Load winner. Hey, and remember, if you want to be a Lucky Load winner, you must be a verified carrier, you must use SuperPay, and you must book a load on Super Load Board.
The next evolution of moving cars faster, smarter, and easier is here. SuperPay by Super Dispatch. Today, shippers waste hours managing fragmented payment systems. And carriers are left wondering, never knowing when they'll finally get the payment they're owed. SuperPay saves everyone time and hassle by securely automating payment upon proof of delivery. No more tracking down payments or onboarding carriers to disconnected payment systems. With integrated payments with SuperPay, Super Dispatch is now the only end-to-end, all-in-one auto transport platform. Automate payments where you automate transport.
Super Dispatch, TMS, mobile app, Super Load Board, and SuperPay helping carriers, dispatchers, brokers, and shippers move cars, get paid fast on one auto transport platform. Visit superdispatch.com. Links in the live chat. Here we go. Attention business developers. We have your weekly pulse on industry news part 2, top stories. Here we go. This is the big one. The yellow trucking bankruptcy story just continues. And this is on automotive news. This really I thought, wow, that's really a good headline and a story. Great idea. Trucking bankruptcy highlights auto industry logistics concerns. Truck driver shortages, backups at ports, heightened shipping costs, putting a strain on automotive supply chain in recent years, which has already been strained. Now, driver shortage, that's debatable. Backups at ports, not debatable. Heightened shipping costs, not debatable. But last week's bankruptcy of Yellow, one of the largest trucking companies in the U.S., serves as a reminder to suppliers of the still fragile state of the supply chain. Trucking company Yellow Corp, a once dominant player in the less than truckload segment. Now, this is freight, this is LTL. I realize it seems like it's not connected, although dumping 30,000 workers, professional truck drivers, into the marketplace, you know that's going to have an effect. And it also signals something in the spot market, which is, well, there's a lot of auto transport spot market, which is when we say LTL, that's kind of what we're talking about. Yellow's customers included major retailers and manufacturers. They had a market share of 8 to 10%. I mean, I think they were like number 3 on the top 100 LTL freight carriers. That's you know, there's a lot of trucking companies, but still an important statistic. Bankruptcy comes as the auto industry continues to sort through various supply chain issues. We know there was the microchip shortage, right, and different issues. Since the start of COVID, automakers and suppliers have dealt with higher costs for logistics and shipping. Also, might be debatable in some parts, but I think that overall, I think costs to move are higher than what shippers want. And what's interesting is they're still not as high as carriers expect. So, you know, explain that. That's pretty interesting. That gray area, well, I think it's gonna get tougher. Shortage of truck drivers, rail cars backed up at ports. Premium freight became a massive problem for suppliers and automakers during the early parts of the pandemic. I think that's the important part to focus on. We'll see where this news story goes. We don't really know, but I thought this would be appropriate because right on the heels of that story, Hyundai Glovis is securing additional 12 car transport vessels by 2025. Now, that's not 12 car, but 12 vessels. That's a big investment. Hyundai Glovis continues to just dominate in logistics. We're talking, I mean, this is global automotive movements. Hyundai Glovis. They currently operate 72 pure car and truck carriers, PCTCs. I'm not familiar with that term. But they're going to go for 12 more ships. I guess that's a PCTC, is these ships, these vessels. They're going to put 6 more in operation next year, go for another 6 by 2025. The ships can carry up to 80,000 vehicles per vessel. My gosh. What happens if you put 80,000 EVs on there? Jay, don't ask. Lane Watch, single largest weekly wholesale price drop in 11 months. That's important. That's industry news. Black Book reported wholesale values have dropped. And also what? Okay, so, and these are the kinds of, this is why I need the experts in the remarketing section tonight. Even though the auction conversion rate was stable, wholesale prices dropped as sellers lowered their floors. Buyers were not willing to pay any more than they had to. Segments and vehicle ages were affected, but more affordable older models did not drop as much as the rest of the market. I know. You're standing in the transport parking lot, right? Like, yeah. So anyways, I got it. It's all good. Used vehicle inventory hits high point. Now this is important, and we're going to hear more about this. Used vehicle inventory in July hit a new high. Do you want a used vehicle inventory high? While volume reached a year-to-date high, the used vehicle market saw prices and days supply decrease as sales rose for the third consecutive month. Man, do we need an economist around here. The total supply of unsold used vehicles on dealer lots, franchise and independent, across the U.S. stood at 2.25 million units at the close of July. That was up over 2 million from the end of June, from the same time a year ago. So we're going to get the read on what this all means. CDK Global launched a new experience. And I tell you, there's so many launches now. It's kind of like podcasters in a rock. I'm sure this is a big deal. I just need someone to explain to me why. CDK Global says it's about to make running a dealership a whole new experience. In fact, it's called CDK Dealership Experience, an open and integrated platform designed to provide a foundation of built-in functionality that unifies workflows of the dealership into a single experience. Feel like I've already heard of this, but maybe not. Not sure. All I do know is you got a car shipping button because we are talking about that. IAA adds new AI, machine learning tools to provide data-driven valuations. I'm glad Doug Hadden's on the show tonight. I thought of Doug right away. IAA has added new artificial intelligence and machine learning tools to its selling platform. The auction company, a subsidiary of RB Global, who purchased IAA, marketplace for insight services, transaction solutions for commercial assets and vehicles, announced the launch of IAA Vehicle Score, IAA Vehicle Value, and IAA Sales Decision Center. All designed to work together to provide vehicle sellers with info to help optimize their auction strategies for greater returns. IAA Vehicle Score is a patented computer vision tool designed to provide fast and accurate ratings based on vehicle attributes and photos taken during vehicle check-in to save time and cost. Okay. All right, sounds very AI-ish. The predictive model is built on historical data and specific vehicle attributes, comparing similarly equipped and geographically located vehicles to generate a predicted value range. Makes sense. Machine learning never forgets. IAA said it gives vehicle sellers a strong position to access and negotiate the values of vehicles sold through Now, there you go. Yeah. Use that IAA to your advantage to negotiate the correct value. Rumor has it. All right, Ty, I'm warming you up. Check. Mic 2. Rumor has it that lenders are doing something that auctions are doing to dealers. True or false? Rumor has it. The reason I posted that is I just want to mention, I read this story. Rarely do I bring in other news, like traditional news, into the ATI automotive news. But this one really caught my eye. Deals struck on Shark Tank fall apart off air. I did not know that. Wait a minute. How many deals on air that everybody's, high-fiving champagne, getting teary-eyed, don't actually work out? What? The founder of Bubba's Q Boneless Baby Back Ribs, he made headlines after alleging that Damon John renegotiated, my bad, allegedly taking it from $300,000 for 30% on air to $100,000 for 35% off air. Whoa, yo. If that's true, that is right? That's okay. Allegedly. Anyways, $300K for 30% to $100K for 35% is a totally different deal. In fact, despite all the post-deal hugs, this is a Forbes article, from seasons 8 through 13, half of the deal. That's shocking. Now let's take this and move it over to automotive. How many deals in automotive are publicly, you get the check on stage and everybody's happy, and then that deal doesn't go through? How many of those are there? Because what is this, man? What's going on? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me just switch it up. Where do you park your food truck? Right? You got a food truck, you got food, you got sauces, you got chicken and beef and lobster and fajitas. I don't know what you got. Where are you going to park that truck? Are you going to park it where the people are hungry? Or are you going to park it in the middle of the desert? Because some guy's like, I think you should go to the desert, dude. Some dude made a video talking about how great your life is going to be by parking your food truck in the desert. No. Figure out where the hungry people are and take your food truck there. And I point this out because on ATI, I want you to know, because we find we've been educating ourselves and a lot of other people. 60% of what we do is this content. The other 40% is consulting. We're ATI Auto Business. Yes, we have a YouTube channel. Yes, we test our audience's patience regularly. But we also do consulting. We know a lot of people now. We feature a lot of experts. We want to hear from you, and I'm telling you this, why? Because we don't want you to... Don't make the mistake of thinking that this is some carrier channel where we're still booking loads and that's all that we do. Please don't do that. Please let people know ATI is content and consulting, and I'm not kidding. That is actually what we do. All right, here we go. Let's keep moving. Jeez, Jay. If you see this, you're listening to the podcast. It's ATI. Get the podcast. It's called ATI Auto Business. If you see Auto Transport Intel, that's cool. That's who we used to be. If you have a question, you can call or text Ty, 417-483-2764. You can always send me an email. Send in the news, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Let us know how we can help. Wow, 7:54. Man, we're right in time. If you missed this show last week, CPO 360 and NIADA Certified Pre-Owned Program, that was pretty awesome. Check that out. I just want to say once again, we're so happy we got to be live at Guitars and Cars. Oh my gosh. I'm going to share the link to that. Like so many other things that we do, I know I'm biased, but our Guitars and Cars live coverage, number one, I don't think anybody else anywhere had live coverage of Guitars and Cars, but number two, it turned out really awesome. So great job, Todd. There's the link in the live chat. If you haven't seen it, you want to check that out. Friday on Cars on the Move is dealer website cleanup, because this is an automotive business channel. And we're going to talk about everything that affects everything. Dealer website cleanup actually affects logistics, but we're not worried about whether it does or not because it's automotive business. And when you hear the bell, you know it's ATI. We've already heard of one group saying how great it would be to get a bell. So I'm here to tell you, well, we've already got one. So, Jay, we've already got that. It's ATI. It's the Car Should Be Business channel. Thank you so much. Too squirrely? I don't know. It's ATI. That's what we do. All right, here's what we're going to do. We got to get Ty up in here, so do me a favor, stick around, because right after this, we're going to be live with Ty, and then we're going to get the roundtable going. So bring in your energy. Here we go.
Recon in 2023. Time to line. Speed to sale. Managed by metrics. Know what you don't know. Technician efficiency. Workflow efficiency. More cars, less time. Know where your cars are. Connect to what you expect. Rapid Recon can help.
Auto Hauler Exchange is a new B2B marketplace, the first of its kind in the vehicle logistics industry. Auto Hauler Exchange automates the complex workflows of the vehicle logistics ecosystem by connecting large and small vehicle haulers directly with vehicle shippers. By eliminating the middleman typically required in vehicle logistics, AHX streamlines the shipping process, cuts shipping delays, and reduces empty space on carriers and unnecessary miles while increasing revenue. Working directly with the shipper, carriers can pick and choose which opportunities fit their routing on a day-by-day basis to maximize their capacity and eliminate empty miles, while allowing them to plan their backhauls in advance. The exchange gives control back to carriers. By using technology, AHX creates a frictionless, efficient environment for vehicle transportation. Get off the vehicle hauler roller coaster today with Auto Hauler Exchange.
Auto Hauler Exchange B2B marketplace connects shippers directly with carriers, and that means putting the power of the business transaction back in the carrier's hands. Visit autohaulerexchange.com. Get signed up. Get on board. Thank you so much. All right. Really do appreciate it, everybody. If you said hello in the live chat, right? I mean, Will, are you shocked? I'm just shocked. Can't believe it. Here we go. Ty, what are you doing?
I mean,
Right?
all kinds of things. Wow,
Whoa.
that was amazing.
I know,
You brought back a lot of memories of IARA,
Oh,
and
wow.
I think as you were doing that, I'm starting to like, man, I love the IARA. Did you know that? I mean, do you remember?
Yes. I've
you hear
heard
me-
you say it so many times. I mean, really.
Yeah,
Love, love, love.
I love the IARA. Why? Why do I love it so much, Jay?
Yeah.
I know why.
Take it away.
Because
Tell us.
Well, because I'm an auction guy, right? I like physical auctions. Why do I like auctions? Well, let's back up a little bit further. Hold on. I'm a transport guy. That's what I really like. I transport cars from auctions to dealers. I do that a lot, used to. I like to hang out at an auction because that's where the dealers are. So then, you know, as you're talking, I'm thinking, okay, who really cares about why the car is going to the auction or why the car is leaving or what happens from the time it goes into the auction to the time it goes out? I mean, like, who really cares, right? Why? Why does it even matter?
I know. And it's such a big deal. That's why I'm laughing. It's such a funny, stupid question. But
Well, I think what it does for me is it really separates if you really are passionate about this industry, this career, or if you're just here to try to make money. That to me is really what
separating
IARA.
the wheat from the chaff.
The chaff,
Yes,
exactly.
Yes. Well, yeah.
And I mean, and it's even more awesome because I look back at those photos, and I start thinking about being at the conference, and I start thinking, how many people have you met, that we still have an amazing relationship with today, and we're still learning from them. I mean, you know, you got David Sutton, you got Doug Hadden, and by the way, how did you get all these people to come on the show tonight? Wow.
Oh, I know. I know. Well,
That's
phone
amazing.
calls
I
and
had no
money.
idea. Yeah, you paid them to come. That's great. No, but I do get excited about the IARA conference, and I am very passionate about it because it is, you know, whether we love our online auction friends just as much as we love our physical auction guys, but the physical auction seems to be a place where we put physical cars that really need either a place to sit and be, dealt with, or sold and bought. And as you know, some of the things I like to talk about, we get, because we put my number out all the time, we get guys that want to get into car hauling. And there's two things I always say. One, can you live 12 months without a check starting now? Two, who's your customer? And then we start talking about dealers and auctions. And in the auction category, I always have like three people that I really, you got to go know these three people at the auction. The auction sales rep, the remarketing, those people over there, usually not in the same location, and the transport guy. At the auction, most physical auctions, you will find a salesperson, a remarketing person, and somebody in charge of transportation. If you're a transportation guy and you want to really understand this business more, start with my favorite, auction sales rep, right? I love the auction sales rep. Why do I love them so much? They know all the dealers. That's the customer. You always hear me talk about love the dealer. Well, here we go. So anyway, I'm really excited about tonight. Scott Kolb, Aria, Gigi, Doug, who am I missing?
Dave Sutton's on the show. Becky's on the show. I know, it's crazy.
Becky, I haven't even seen Becky forever.
Oh, Jose Delgado's on the show.
Jose,
I know,
get Jose
crazy.
up in here. Come on,
really.
Jose, we love Jose. And thanks, Location Services. Man,
oh my
you guys
gosh,
have been so good to us.
Location Services.
Joe,
Location
Jose.
Services helped us get to the Roundtable next week, and that means a lot to us. Yeah, it means a lot to us because we're
and we know a lot of the team members because they got us to NARS. Remember, we went to NARS and we got to meet Miriam
you met Miriam. She was live in the booth. We've had Ken Garbez, Debbie Stokes. Shout out to Debbie. Debbie's going to be at the Roundtable. I forget who worked in titling. Man, she knew a lot about titling, which that's another. Titling is another area where,
Get this. So we've Rich Levine, our auction guy, right? That guy.
Rich Levine, shout out.
He's telling me stories about titles and auctions, and he says, okay, if you're this is part of his CAT, consistency, accuracy, transparency equals trust. So it's CAT, CATT. But he says if you want to be the number one seller at an auction, the first thing you do is don't bring a car unless you have a title.
Ooh.
You'll always sell more cars if you have a title. And he even says stuff like you'll get more money for the car if you bring the title.
Jennifer Perry, there. Jose's in the... Thank you, Jose. Jennifer Perry, yeah.
Jennifer Perry, yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer Perry.
So titles are a big deal all the way around. We had Trent Broberg on last week. They've got a whole division of title people.
Oh, I know. Assertus.
Cross states and all kinds of crazy
impressive aspect.
Titles
of
are a big topic that we don't talk about that much, like equipment. But anyway.
Well, I think we talk about equipment more than titles, but anyways, no, that's a good point. Well, there's a lot to talk about. That's why we go live on the most live automotive business channel.
Yeah. Hey, and one last thing about IARA that I like, the lenders, because the lenders are the people that I'm really watching right now, say all of 2023 to the end, maybe even first quarter. I'm really watching those guys, repos and lending, right? These are all big top interest rates. There's a lot of big financial institutions that are like, we're not doing car loans anymore. And what about floor plans, right? Who knows what's going on there?
Gosh, well, and anytime you hear a business getting out of something they were doing business in, you know, it's like the Shark Tank thing. You're like, what happened?
Whoa, what happened there?
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
and by the way, it's not always something nefarious.
No.
It's something
business. It could just be basic business 101. We're not making any money. Don't do that.
There you go. Right?
I think here's the thing though. I feel like there's going to be a log jam here soon, and this is why I love our repo gang members. Right? They really aren't our gang members. They were already a gang before we joined their gang.
They allowed us in their gang. Yeah, that's right.
We had to retire the repo hammer. Then we were able to come into the club. But I think we're having a repo show coming up soon. But that's kind of the area that I'm really paying attention to, because you start hearing stuff about auction inventory, auction sale rates, and days to sale, and all these different things. And if I'm trying to build a transport company, I really want to know this stuff, because especially if I just do used cars, this is important.
See, and this gets into the consulting. what we've learned is we are now talking to businesses that we assumed they knew what we're already talking about.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, what? You're not following that?
Whoa, where you been?
Why wouldn't you be following that? You got to be kidding. And actually, that's what's grown our consulting is how the number of businesses that we run into now when we're like, what are you talking about? You don't know that. How do we know that and you don't know that? There's no way.
And two, it's sometimes a different perspective as well, because we read a lot.
You get busy doing what you're doing.
People. Yeah, you get focused on. I've got drivers that are trying to get home on Friday. How do you make that happen? Right. That's a real conversation that nobody wants to have that one. So anyway, I'm happy, Jay. Good job, Jay.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Really, really good job on this show tonight, and I mean that. Because I
appreciate that.
Behind the scenes, quick story. We don't share much behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This one was very difficult to put together. So everybody that's here tonight, thank you so much. And however you got here, thank you even more. And thank you, Jay, for doing it. Good job.
Wow, thank you, man. I appreciate that. This was a very hard show to put together. And the thing is, and we're learning something too, is that the work that we're doing is, well, we just might, gosh darn it, Ty, we might actually be doing something new. Maybe that's why it's hard.
Absolutely. We're definitely doing things that nobody's done before. And
I didn't, you know what's weird? This is the crazy thing. But we're hearing I say the podcasters, I say that you can throw a rock and hit an automotive podcast. I now say it regularly. When I first said it, I was like, whoa, wow, that sounds so dangerous and crazy. It's true, though. We all know it's true. And
you shouldn't be throwing rocks.
When you start to say, well, I know, it's not nice. Well, you can throw a Nerf.
I'm kidding. I'm giving you a hard time.
I know,
it's okay.
It's when you start saying the truth, it has this weird effect on you. You're like, whoa, the truth. Wow.
Well, the beautiful thing that I really appreciate about this channel is I love going live. And there's no editing. There's no having double takes. No do it over. It's just live. It's just, we're humans. Just like you said, what is that meme you made up there? It says,
I know.
Humans with expert opinions.
Humans with expert opinions. I actually, because I was reading an article about AI, and I was like, well, I better make this while it's true. Right.
No kidding. Yeah, no kidding. Wow. So anyway, just good job. And I want to get Jose up in here.
Let's get Jose in. Jose's like, hey, he's pounding on the door. Let me in. Okay, here we go. All right, Jose, you're up now. I know I didn't give you much, but you got you're in the live chat thing, Maru. Here we go. I'm almost going to hit the take two, but I'm not going to because, we don't need to do that. He's a friend of ours, and we're really happy to have with us tonight Jose Delgado, Chief Client Officer and Relations for Location Services. Please do help us wish a very warm welcome now on the center stage. Jose, can you see us and hear us okay?
Hey, man. How's it going?
There he is. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, not much.
Live in the transport parking lot.
Yeah, and Jose, I think several folks tonight are busy doing stuff, so this is a great way to kick it off. So, awesome. Jose, for anyone who's not familiar with you, please say hello. Tell us a little bit more about you, and then we'll take it from there.
Hey, guys. So, for trying to get good lighting, I can't really seem to get good lighting.
Right there. Right there.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
perfect.
That's good.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Good to see all you guys again. Jose Delgado, COO over at Location Services. And, we do all kinds of stuff. I guess I heard you guys talking a little bit about us. We're a full service forwarder. We end up, we repossess cars, which is part of what we do. We cut keys, we transport them, we remarket them at the auction. And most importantly, we help get titles if you need help with that. So we do a little bit of everything for all the lenders out there that absolutely need us. And so it's good. That's a little bit about us.
You guys are growing too, though.
Elevator pitch, right?
Yeah.
Has this down. I love that. Yeah, okay, so Ty just said something. Jose, what is happening right now in business? And I know you want to talk about dealer remarketing as well, so walk us into that stuff if you can.
Yeah, so, you know, we're building and growing a company, right? And we've been really growing at a really good pace. For those of you guys that have been following the location services history, you know, we rebranded probably about 18 months ago. As we rebranded, we came back out where as a forwarder, we ended up getting rid of a lot of our trucks, and we became a forwarder. We really focused in on skip tracing. And as we built that platform, we're helping Insight LPR to be the only other competitor to DRN. And we're building Insight LPR. We're doing some staging for a lot of lenders. You know, we have our hot list up over 250,000 open license plate orders. We got now over 120 recovery agents. We're covering 35 states in the LPR space, right? So that's up and that's running on its own. And they're doing a great job with that. And so now we're repo piece is growing and going well. And now we're having to focus in on other things, right? So we've really doubled down on two of our other businesses. One of the businesses that we've doubled down on is titles. So we're helping finance companies with some refinance business, getting titles. We're probably processing now over 4,000 titles a month, and it's growing. And I mean, it's a great business. Very niche because, man, it's really hard to find people who know anything about titles. But like you said, we have Jennifer Perry, who's great. And we're building that as another leg to our stool. And we already have relationships within remarketing. And remarketing is a lot of fun, right? We're selling almost 2,000 cars plus a month, you know, give or take, depending on the month. And a lot of credit unions are coming on. I mean, we have some great partners with Allied Solutions who are bringing us on some customers. You know, we work with a couple other people out there who bring us credit union customers. And it's been going great. We love all of our partners out there. And but we decided that there was this opportunity out there to help dealers remarket their cars. And, you know, there's a few other outfits out there that are doing it, and they're doing a great job with it. And, you know, some people came to us and they said, hey, we could really use some help. These are some markets where we could use some help. We've, you know, reached out to some of our auction partners, America's Auto Auction, Auto Nation, Odessa, Mannheim, you know, reached out to all of them. And they all love our remarketing manager and our remarketing team and what we have going on. And they're welcoming us with open arms for this transition. So here in the fourth quarter, we'll be helping dealers with some of their third-party remarketing. And, you know, I expect it to go gangbusters and for it to go really well and for us to be able to double all of our remarketing volume pretty easily by next year. No problem.
That's breaking news, by the way.
I know.
I had no idea. Wait, whoa. Where's the bells and the whistles and the sirens, Jay? Gee, this is,
yeah,
why didn't I, what?
I know.
This is crazy. Really, this is new.
I mean, this is hot off the press. We haven't done a press release on it. We haven't announced the new hires that we've brought on board. But this is all, I forget that pretty hush-hush until we've been able to put the team together that we wanted. We're working with all of our auction partners to get the lane placement and the, you know, the support that we need. And now that it's all lined up, yeah, we're going to be really launching, running some pilots in September and hopefully be full bore with this October, November, December. So any dealers out there, if you need help selling some of those used cars across that auction lane, let us know.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
I just remembered I do have a bit of a siren there.
There you go. Thank you. I knew you had something.
It was big, wasn't it?
Breaking.
But it's amazing how much location services does.
Wow.
It's one of the reasons why, I mean, Jose, I know that we get along really well when we talk. It seems like there's a lot to talk about, but the organization you're managing too sounds like a lot.
You know what? It's my days. You know, you should be getting a point where maybe things are getting easier, a little lighter, working less hours. But as we're continuing to add more services, more customers, more employees, more vendors, you know, we're trying to build a great culture, and it's a lot of fun. And everybody that we're bringing onto the team, they're high performers. They want to do well, and we all encourage each other. And I'll tell you what, the day goes by pretty quick when you're working with a fantastic team and good, energetic people around you. So, yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more.
There was a post today, Jerry's CEO, is that right?
Yes, he's our CEO.
What was it? Do you remember what that post was, Jay? I saw it twice, and I can't even remember what it was.
I think it was a highlight of our CEO that we did. As we try to highlight an employee, someone within the organization, once a month on our social media, and it's just highlighting him. Right? He's this is my third time that I've worked with Jerry, and he was a pioneer in the early days. He was the first one to jump on board with certification when the auctions and then AAA came out. And they said, hey, we want to do certification. Ooh. Nobody wanted to do it. And he saw the value in it. And he said, look, for every $1 we spend in reconditioning, we could get 3 back. And I'm sure if a car is certified and a dealer doesn't have to run it through post-sale inspection, that, a dealer is going to be willing to pay a lot more money for it. And, now, certification is an industry standard, right? It's practice. Jerry was also able to be one of the first ones when we were over at Par North America. We started the LPR staging with DRM. And we were the first ones to stage our complete hot list with DRM. And, so we pioneered that whole staging thing with those guys. And they were great partners back then. And, it was really fun to be part of something new and something that, grows. And, Jerry's now, saying, hey, let's go ahead and let's start this dealer remarketing program. And he's really encouraging us and helping us pull the team together. And, this is going to be another one of those great things that, started off with an idea and, we're really rolling out to execution. And it's kind of fun. You have your builders, you have your people who sustain things, and you have your idea people. And, we got a good team of a little bit of all those. And, it's pretty exciting to see what we got going on there.
Wow. You just made the article come to life, right? That was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I did see that article, but I didn't get all that. So that was really cool. Wow.
Yeah. So this is IARA, right? The conversation here. So
IARA Summer Roundtable, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there. We have Debbie Stokes that'll be there, our remarketing manager, and we're meeting with a bunch of our auction partners, and it's really great. We're a sponsor there. We're not members there, even though we are consigners. I'm trying to. Now that I'm sitting here, I'm talking about it, it's like, wondering why we're not, part of those, some of those roundtables or whatnot. But, maybe something to look into. We've always been considered a vendor there, I suppose. But, everyone who's there is great.
You're asking the same questions I'm asking, because that's the thing. If it's a really big tent, maybe there's a lot of room for a lot of different types of discussions under one big tent. Maybe.
Well, I'm going to be there, so I'm going to meet Debbie, and I can introduce. We had a great meeting with Mark Coleman. Mark Coleman is a new, I think, executive director there at IARA. Is that right? So what we could do is I could grab Debbie, and I could introduce Debbie to Mark, and we could have a nice conversation and see where it goes. Because I know the IARA is really big on committee meetings, committee members, committee something, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think they're always looking for somebody to be in charge of something. So maybe some opportunity there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I knew Mark Holman. I was the fleet lease manager at Manheim SoCal, AGM at Manheim, Utah. And he was working, I believe, with Element. And, he was the manager over their fleet. If I'm not mistaken, and we all worked together in the past. It was a previous life. That was probably like 12 years ago. So
small world.
2 years ago already. I'm in the news. 2 years ago seemed like a decade. So I can imagine that seemed like a long time ago.
12. Well, that's good. But I'm happy that you guys are there. I'm happy you're going. I think I'll make a point to reach out to Debbie and kind of show her what I know. If she did you say has she been there before?
But she's been to the IARA.
Oh, she has.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe she can
Well,
show you around.
knows.
Huh,
yeah,
buddy?
I bet she knows me something. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Debbie knows. She's been around for a long time, and she knows a lot of people in the auction space. She's worked at a few auctions. She's.
I'm gonna hang around her.
Yeah. She's difficult but fair.
That's great. But, yeah. Well, that's great. There's a super massive, huge update. Wow.
Yeah, that was
We
awesome,
have you on
Jose.
more.
We're about to
Man.
move into our next segment, and if you can stick around, I know you're on the move. It's really up to what your schedule is, Jose. But we're going to bring in, here's what's going to happen. We're about to bring in Scott Kolb, Dave Sutton, and Doug Hadden.
Awesome. Well, I'll stick around long enough to say hello to those guys, and then I'll bounce off, and I'll see you next week, Ty.
Awesome. Thanks, Jose. Can't wait to see you.
All right. Thanks, Jose.
Appreciate
All right,
you
here
so
we
much.
go. Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited. All right, here we go. Camera one. Please do help me wish a very warm welcome to. We got Scott Kolb. We've got Dave Sutton, Doug Hadden, remarketing experts. Okay, right? Oh, I just said remarketing again. You know what that means. All right, here we go. There's Dave. There's Doug.
Nice.
Hey, guys. Wow. All right, this is the energy show, so you got to get your energy up, up. And there's Scott. All right, I know,
Look
right?
at that. Man, get a picture quick.
Remarketing.
Jay, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here. What happened?
Right? So am
by
I.
the way, I'm still looking at myself for the $100 you promised me for showing up.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it's in the mail.
It's Cash App. Cash App.
30 day. We pay
Cash App.
30
Net
day.
30.
Yeah, net
Got
30.
it.
Do you take T checks? Somebody. All right, let's do this. Dave Sutton got in here first, so let's start with Dave. Dave Sutton, please say hello and give us your IARA Summer Roundtable elevator pitch.
All right, real quickly. First of all, hello to this group on the screen. All friends, all guys that I've known for a while. I respect you guys immensely. Looking forward to hopefully seeing many of you next week. IARA Summer Roundtable. Boy, I lost count of how many I've attended. It is, in my mind, one of the best 2 or 3 days that you can spend in this industry. There's not so many people that you'll have a chance to talk with everyone. They structure it so there's lots of opportunities to mingle and talk and chat and pull somebody aside. A ton of business gets done, and I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, and by the way, we did lose Jose. Jose had a great segment. Sorry he can't stay on, but I know he's out and about. Dave, that's really interesting because we've only had the chance to meet up a few times, right? We've spent a little bit of time with you. Ty just saw you at Guitars and Cars. So I'm going through the Rolodex. What does that look like? And that's a lot of roundtables, I'm guessing.
That's a lot. You know, I was looking at the attendee list for next week, and right now I think there's like 250, 260, and there's always the last minute registrations. I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't know 60 of those people. So I need to get off my duff and refresh my network to younger people or folks who are in the industry that I haven't had a chance to meet yet. So you always meet new people and you always see old friends.
That's awesome. Doug is like me, odd man out. So what I want to do before I move on to Doug is I want to go to Scott. Scott reminded me, co-founder of the IARA. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while, Jay, and it's great to be with. By the way, it's great to be with all of you, and with your phenomenal audience. So, once again, thanks for having me back. Yeah, 2001. Actually, before that, we were having some discussions around how do we really create an opportunity for best practices and the voice of the consignor. And in 2001, that became a reality. Yeah, it's amazing to see where the IARA has traversed to this point, well over 20 years. So, yeah, a lot going on there.
A lot going on there. All right, cool. And so, then rounding out our panel, Doug Hadden, ACV Auctions. Doug, now, I'm going to share this. Doug said today, I said, hey, Doug, I've ended up with an empty seat. Martin Romju can't make it. Will you please come on? And he was like, I don't know. What did you say?
I don't know exactly what I said. I'll leave out the swear word part.
Right, exactly. Right?
But no, I said, look, anything you guys have taken, who thought that two guys talking about, putting cars on and off trucks could build what you two have built? It's not just about moving cars anymore. It's kind of about moving America.
Wow.
It's about an industry that half the people in the country actually are connected to or work for it, earn a living somehow. So I'm amazed at what you guys have built. And anytime you call me and say, Doug, I got an empty seat, I'll raise my hand and say, I'll
That is really, really nice. And I tell you, that's the thing, Doug, is that we had such a fun show with you. I think it was the first time that we got you on. On a Cars on the Move a Friday ago, and we wanted to get you for a while. I tell you, I first remember you were talking about, I think it was early Apex stuff a couple years ago in a breakout session at Used Car Week. Am I right about that?
Yep, you're absolutely right.
And I probably went up to you and I was like, hey, Mr. Hadden, I really, but I knew, man, I got to get this guy on ATI. And so the fact that that's happened, and then, I can call you last minute, let me tell you. Love you, brother. I can't believe it. It's amazing.
You guys bring me in. You put me on with these guys. I'm not worthy with these two.
Oh man,
other guests you guys have.
I mean, the face of remarketing.
Absolutely,
it is. And so, since
and besides that, now I feel bad because I don't have my certification up to date. So now it's like, oh my god,
I don't. Yeah. Well, I don't even work here, so
I think like Doug said, passion. A lot of. And I think Ty said it earlier, a passion right here. Folks that have, the guys you got on here, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of energy, really, to this incredible organization.
So there you go. Great segue. What's it all about? Right? What is remarketing all about? What is helping consigners all about? Helping dealers. Somebody take it from me because I just have a microphone.
I'll grab it from you because I was looking ahead to the list of the people attending next week, and one of my faves is going to be there, Virgil Matzik. So at the time I met Virgil worked for Mike Hockett with ABC Auctions. He was a former Chrysler remarketing guy, and I'm a Detroit guy. He's a Detroit guy. And I just gotten involved with the auction operations with Volkswagen Credit, and ended up having the absolute pleasure to take over for Tom Knebula, who retired. And so I met Virgil. It turns out my whole staff thought Virgil was their uncle. I mean, he was just so welcome in that group. The first week I said, I can only hope they like me half as much as they like Virgil Matzik. And he was the rep from ABC Auctions coming in to call on Volkswagen Credit. But he's such a sage, such a wise man, and he was very involved in the IARA. And he gave me that kind of the knowing handshake pulling me in and says, Dave, you really need to get involved. And I trusted him, and so glad that I did. Because when I first started, I was coming from a background as a management consultant, had done that type of work for General Motors and IBM. And I was looking at all these cars and the depreciation per day and the days to sale and all this other stuff rattling around my head. And I was looking at, what a high stakes game of poker we were all playing. And so one of the first things I got involved with the IARA is benchmarking. How fast are we? How fast are they? How do we measure it fairly? How do we do all this other stuff? And work with a number of other consigners, and we got things dialed in pretty good. And then they started the Certified Automotive Remarketer program, and I was on the board. And I'm not one to suggest other people do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So next thing I know, I'm working shoulder to shoulder, who at that time were the titans of the auction industry and the remarketing industry. And they were writing these modules, all 20 of these modules, they came from somewhere. And so next thing I know, I'm editing them. I'm going to a conference a day early to sit in a hotel room around a big dining room table, shoulder to shoulder. And we're actually writing, editing, making it all happen. These are years ago. And since then, we're on like third generation of these exams. We just updated the one on physical auctions and specialty auctions today. We were talking in our certification committee. We needed people to do that. I said, I got two guys. So I reached out to a guy who knows a little bit something about remarketing, Dan Kennedy, previously with General Motors. And then there's another guy I worked with when I was at Carfax, Randy Gold, who's forgotten more about remarketing than I'll ever know. And those two guys were the guys who said, yeah, we're willing to do it. So yeah, here's guys long in their career who are more than willing to give back, edit that. The only thing they wouldn't do is do the test questions, which I understand, because you don't want to be that bad guy writing bad test questions. So we got that in and submitted today, and we'll have it online with update of some other modules. And I've just seen this industry do so many cool things. I mean, one of the things was just being aware of how to handle confidential information with it. And so the IARA stepped up. They developed the CAR curriculum. They developed the certification for the ACT test, which is fantastic for any company who doesn't have a good policy or practices for that. They've really filled a void where one company maybe is challenged, the other people help you out. And one last story about it. So I was talking to a good friend, I won't mention the company, but they were saying, hey, look, do you know anybody? We're looking at maybe expanding operations and going up into Canada. And they said, so we're hoping to maybe learn a little bit something about the what we need to do or who we need to talk to. So we're sending a couple of people to the conference next week. I said, make sure they get there on Tuesday so they go to the Canadian committee meeting, have them sit in there, listen to what's going on, meet those folks, develop contacts. I mean, it's such a great place to connect with folks. So I don't want to take up too much airtime, but clearly I'm excited about IARA. I've been involved. I've been a member of it. I've been a chairperson with it. And I'm the person who's terrorized a lot of people in the industry, encouraging them to become certified automotive remarketers. And at a recent industry event, I was even known to put bounties on certain people with a bet that basically, if you can get so-and-so to get certified, I'll give you $250 to donate to whatever charity you want. I think I'm in for about $1,500 if all these people get certified. So I'm kind of hoping they get certified, but at the same time, it's a lot of money.
So I'm going to say this. What's interesting is I'm reminded now what it's like to be, you just took me back to like when I was at Car Conference and I'm learning more about this. You hear a lot of talk about the certification and the memberships. And there's somebody right now thinking, but Jay, what is remarketing? There's so much to this. Like one of the first things I heard you say was relationships, right? And those relationships help. And by the way, remarketing, to be a remarketing expert, I mean, you got to be able to it's like a beautiful mind. You're triangulating so many parameters, right? This isn't an easy job.
Well, the reality is,
high stakes poker is a good way to put it.
Well, most of us, like when I got super involved with Volkswagen, I inherited an awesome team of auction operations people. And we were doing the upstream sales with Open Lane. There's a lot of people who understand different elements of it, and they're a mile deep in it, and they're passionate about it. The key is, how do you make it all work together? And the thing that would make you a remarketing executive is, how do you deal with the big boys and the tough room where you're talking about residual value losses? How do you navigate those discussions and turn that into actions your team can take,
right,
and deliver better results in the next quarter, the next quarter, the next quarter?
Right.
And the reality is, there's no one in your company who has that same job, who lays awake, sleepless at night thinking about these things. So you go to the IARA and you're talking to Scott Kolb, who was with Honda. You talk to the Randy Golds, who was with Ford. You talk to these other folks, and you're not really competing with one another. And you're there amongst your peers, and you can share information, what's worked, what's not worked. That is really your peer group. Your peer group is not within your own company as a remarketer.
Yeah, so good point. So when you go to the roundtable, you're at that. Gosh, I don't know what the analogy is.
Well, you got the greatest critical mass, Jay, of remarketing professionals. Those men and women that are responsible for these portfolios. You ask, what is remarketing? Doug can tell you that. I mean, it's really three things: selling that asset at the right time, in the right place, for the right money. Dave kind of alluded to that. You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars worth of portfolio assets that these folks are responsible for. So, when you shake it out, when the IRA started, it was all about having a financial foundation, which over 20 years they have now, being respected as a great organization with the likes of the NAAA and and NIADA and NADA, and then education. You know, to Dave's point, giving back. You got the highest designation in the industry with the car designation, and just a great opportunity. You talk about young people. This is a great way to get young people involved, and that was part of what we thought through right when we got started.
And I think, as Jose was pointing out, whether it's dealers or auctions or consigners, I mean, there's a lot of, when you paint that picture of the portfolio. Here's a news story that I saw today that I should have added. Holman VINCUE. Right?
Yeah, I saw that. That was on LinkedIn.
What is it, Jay? Tell us.
Well, I didn't read it all. I had so many things going on, but there was a, what was it? Who wants to fill in the blanks?
I think VINCUE raised money at the Holman event for them to.
Well, but Holman was
their growth. Now, maybe Holman might have had something to do with the money, but VINCUE.
Anybody have any information on this? Anybody read this?
I haven't read it, but I'm going to talk to Jim Jackson with Holman next week.
Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is news. I just don't know what the news story is. It had just hit auto remarketing today, I thought. But
yeah,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, hold your hats on, right? Because there's a lot of things changing. There's a lot of moving parts.
Thanks.
Every day. Big reset. I mean, there's a lot going on. We thought there was disruption before. If
you think about the industry, just nobody even really. I love that question. So, what's remarketing? You tell that somebody on the street, and they go, "I have no idea what you're talking about." But yet, the amount of business that happens, the amount of dollars that depend on this industry. Manufacturers, they're captive finance companies. The folks that we're talking about today, the folks that pick those cars up and move them from one place to another. The folks at the physical auction, the folks that are sitting somewhere in an office writing code for digital auctions. It's just a huge, going way back when, it used to be a lot simpler, or at least it seemed to at the time. It was, I would take a paper book and say, okay, I have a portfolio of Honda Civics and Honda Accords. A lot of them are in the East Coast. I bet if I take my books and I look at the book that they use in the East and the book that they use in the West, I bet there's a gap there. And depending on how much I can get a car transported for, I might just ship those things all over across the United States. And those used to be done by pencil and spreadsheet. And today those decisions happen in nanoseconds. But Ford Motor Credit will take 400 cars and move them over here, and because they'll make an extra $700 per car.
Like you said, Doug. There used to be a seasonality effect, which obviously there still is, but not to the extent by which you would move those assets, those kind of distances.
Correct, and they used to do all that modeling pretty much. I don't want to say on a slide rule, but the modeling for leasing and the financial models was tedious and had a little bit of a guess to it. I would say there's not much guessing today. Although we don't talk a lot about retail, but retail drives everything all of us do. If it wasn't retail, we wouldn't be sitting here. But I read today the average new car payment. There is more people. I think there's 15% of all new cars sold today that are financed. The payments are over $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so take that 15% of all new cars sold over $1,000 payment. I don't know. That's wow. That's huge.
Yeah. And what does that deficiency do to the valuation coming out the other side? Fascinating.
Yeah. A lot of stuff happening today in our industry that I never. 2 years ago when used cars, a dealer could buy one at the auction and go, "Wow, I made a mistake. I better keep it for 2 months and let it appreciate."
What?
Yeah. Well, and also, Doug, in that article, I'm not sure if we read the same one, but they're stretching these things out like 72 months and just crazy,
84,
right?
84 months.
84.
I saw the other day. You know the indicator of the chip shortage being not quite as short is when you get new car captives advertising 84 months at 3.2% or something. They got some cars that they're going to have to move. I think the chip shortage is definitely that as an indicator is showing us that chip shortage ain't as short as it used to be.
Yeah, there's no question. Those cars are going to need to move, especially with this valuation tracked and just the supply demand piece. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah.
These next.
I think I talk to my teams all the time. I have a call on Monday about 500 people or so across the U.S. and I've been saying this for the last 6 months or so. I said, guys, we're on a slow glide path to normality. The flaps are down, the nose is up, the wheels, the landing gears down. Now it's going to be a bumpy landing, and I think that's kind of as an industry what we're experiencing, as we speak today. And frankly, I don't know what normality is anymore. Like, what is the new normal going to be? Manufacturers are realizing that, hey, if they don't flood a market, they can actually be more profitable. Dealers, same way, that they don't have. Think about it. If I'm a dealer, flooring expense, property expense. You know what? A lot of these Toyota stores, they don't have a car on the lot. Now they do more now than they did obviously 6 months ago. They still struggle a little, but they found out that they didn't need to have a whole bunch of cars on the lot to sell cars and be profitable. So what's all those things going to do today? I don't know, but historically, and I've been in this, I can't believe I say these words all the time. I've been in this industry for almost 40 years. It's the only industry I've ever known. Started as a lot boy at a Ford store in Louisville, Kentucky. Fell in love with it, couldn't get out of it. That's how this happens, right? Sometimes we want to, but we just can't. But thinking about the way things are going today, what is that new normal going to be? I mean, will that greed kick in, and will they start building a bunch more cars and send them all to the rental fleets or whatever? I don't know if that's in the cards anytime soon like it used to be.
Well, the new big variable is the electric cars. We haven't had to think about that before. So are they? Is that a whole new market? Is that going to displace the other ones? I think they're really cool, but I'm not ready to buy one yet. I would lease one, and that's going to create some new challenges for the industry. We're talking about the size of the industry, Doug. 15 years ago, a long time ago, when I was younger and smarter and working for Volkswagen, I was managing their auction operations. We had a team of about 55, 60 people who were managing that activity. And this is 15 years ago. That little team with this guy leading it, we sold $2 billion worth of used cars a year, just that team, 15 years ago.
Whoa.
I can't imagine what those numbers look like today and in the years ahead of us.
Pretty sure that calls for an applause. And I tell you what, here's what I want to do. As we continue our conversation, we're going to raise the energy level, camera one. Because we are now, please do help me wish a warm welcome. We're going to bring in Aria, Gigi, and Becky to round out our summer roundtable energy panel here 2023. So here we go. Doorbell's ringing, and we'll see here. I think all three of them actually made it. We have everybody. Now we're in our final segment, and I've been keeping them at bay. I've been, they're in the waiting room.
Ladies,
like, man,
keeping the ladies.
What's this guy doing?
Well, they're the closers.
Right, exactly. We're about to be, we're about to get closed, gentlemen. Okay, Gigi made it in here first. I see Gigi and Aria are both here. Gigi, first time on a Tuesday night. How you doing, Gigi? Oh, you got courtesy mute, because you're courteous. Which is good.
Hey, Gigi.
Hey, what's going on?
Gigi, we can hear you and see you. How are you?
We can hear you, we can see you. Tell us who you're with.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, tell us a little bit.
August.
Say who you're with and tell us a little bit more about you, please, Gigi.
Hey, guys. I'm with Hanson and Atkins Auto Logistics, known as HAL. We're doing some remarketing over there.
HAL, Hanson Atkins
Ourselves,
Auto
right?
Logistics, yes.
Yeah.
Hanson and Atkins is what? What is Hanson and Atkins?
Yes. So Hanson and Atkins is the largest North American and Canadian automotive shippers. So we usually work with OEMs, and now we are going full circle and working with dealers directly. We're learning how to get to more banks. Obviously, we want to captivate that audience as well. So I come from a heavy fleet life, so we're entering that model. We're trying to get with Element, Wheels, ARI. Let's see, who else was I talking to today? Merchants and so on and so forth. So we're not only working with OEMs anymore.
Right.
We're looking to use all of our 1,500 trucks and our carrier partner relationships to move all kinds of vehicles from Canada and all over the United States. Sorry, I was like in IARA mode. I was like typing a whole bunch of emails telling everybody that I'm coming. It's my first one, so I'm excited.
So there's a lot to do. There's a lot of possibility.
There is a lot to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's,
I don't think they've ever seen us.
Right.
Except for OEM, right?
Interesting. Yeah. Awesome. Ty, what do you want to add
excited.
to that? We met Gigi at NIADA. We're learning more about, we've known Hansen and Adkins because we're in auto transport, right? But we're learning more about logistics and outreach and verticals, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's fun to see these companies coming in and growing and to meet great people like Gigi. And so we knew, remember we met Barry Williams. He's Hansen Atkins guy.
We sat next to Barry Williams at Auto Haulers. I'm sorry. It was Automotive Logistics panel discussions.
Yeah.
Barry Williams,
Barry,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, big guy there at Hansen Atkins. Then we met David Larson. He came in. I think Gigi, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's in charge of the HAL, which is Hansen Atkins Logistics. Is that right?
Well, he is the COO. He was promoted like a couple of months ago to Chief Operations Officer.
Yeah, and he's been around. He's been to some big companies. He knows about logistics. Am I?
Like, it was surprising to know that he was going to be on this call because apparently I'm supposed to meet him. So yeah.
Oh wow!
Sorry, there was a bit of delay.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, there is a little bit of delay. All right, here I want to do this because we're taking off, and this is what it's all about. This is just a microcosm of the actual roundtable, but I wanted to share for anybody that can't be there. All right. I want to say hello to Aria. Aria, you got in here next. Aria, please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you and RCG Logistics.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Aria Tactaquin. I am with RCG Logistics. I oversee all of business development, sales, client relations, strategic partnerships, as well as anything media related for RCG. I've been in the industry a little bit shy of about 10 years now. With RCG, we started out, pretty heavily in the repossession and remarketing space, very heavy in the used car space, and it's just kind of snowballed from there, I'd say. So we do cars, boats, trucks, RVs, power sports, as well as automotive parts. We move all of those all throughout the United States, and are expanding our drayage divisions as well for international importing and exporting. But anything automotive related, supply chain related, we handle that. So we really have a great home, I would say, with IARA. They've been so wonderful to us for so many years. I'm actually on the membership committee for IARA, as well as I help out with the social media committees from time to time as well. So if anybody needs any help, I know Jose wanted to, I'll reach out to him after this. So I'll let him know because we got to get him as a member. So if anybody needs anything with membership with IARA, I'm pretty heavily involved with that. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And that's a little bit about me and what we do for RCG.
Fantastic. Thank you, Aria. And I know I heard Becky come back into the, if you get disconnected, if you, if you get delayed or whatever, let me know, come back in, ring the doorbell. It's Zoom. It's pretty reliable. That sounds like a commercial. It's Zoom. It's pretty reliable.
Until
Becky,
it's not.
or not. There's Becky. Okay, Becky, can you see us and hear us?
I'm back. I'm
back.
back.
All right, cool.
I'm not sure what happened, but the Zoom completely shut down. So.
All right. Well, we're glad you're back. You've stated before that you like the Energy series, and so please say hello. Tell us a little bit more, and why do you like the Energy series?
Well, hi, I'm Becky Anderson. For those of you that don't know, I'm with Cars Recon, and we are a service provider for auto auctions in the recon space. So we operate several detail and body shops across the country, and we do some consulting in that, but primarily just kind of operate the shops wholly. So we just take over the either detail or body mechanic wherever the need is for the specific auction. So, but to Jay's point, yes, I love the Energy Series. I think it was probably 3 years ago we started doing this one.
So this is crazy. I went back. I thought it was 3. It's literally only 2.
Really? Gosh, it feels like 3.
It feels like 8. That is what's really interesting.
Is that because you did pre and post?
Well, I don't always get to the post. Sometimes I don't even get to the pre. But, I don't know if it's because of the number of shows or things just are changing so fast.
I know, but I'm thinking hi, Becky. I'm thinking, I missed you, by the way.
Likewise.
The last time we were talking, it was, if I remember right, there was really a lot of trouble with the whole COVID and how do you clean a car and how do you get people to show up. And so I'm guessing today it's probably like, how do I keep up with all this work, right? I mean, what are you doing now?
Yeah,
how's it going?
There's definitely that. You still are dealing with a lot of the staffing challenges. I mean, that really hasn't gone away. So just trying to figure out how to navigate that. And, we're always trying something different. It's not always money. It's environment, just a lot of things I think that we see across all industries, culture, just all of that, how people feel about where they're at, whether they're sitting in an office or cleaning cars in a detail shop or the painter in a body shop. So it matters no matter what they're doing. So we are still struggling with that. I think like everybody is. I know when we visit our locations and the auctions that we're not the only ones feeling that pain. So everybody still is, but I do think that it's getting better. We're starting to see a little more consistency with employment. You don't have the turnover that you had over the past couple of years, but it is still a challenge. Very encouraging that the volumes are increasing. So from our side of things, we love to see that for sure.
That was my next question, if the volumes, but that also adds to the problem. If we got more cars to move, we need more people to clean them.
You do, yes, but you have more consistency. So, you don't have the downtime. You don't have the inconsistency in flow. So that always helps too with when you're trying to staff a shop and keep it running. So, it all, yes, it provides its own challenges, but it all kind of they all play into each other. So volumes increasing while they haven't been as consistent as we would like. We've seen some upticks and then it kind of goes down some, but we're hopeful and it seems to be trending upward. So that's encouraging for sure.
Hey, Ty and Jay, if I might, Becky, have you seen, have you seen some of the reconditioning investment start to kind of increase a little bit?
Absolutely.
Valuations have fallen?
Yeah, I mean, you do see, depending on the location and the cars and whether it's a consignor or a dealer, but yeah, they are starting to put some more love into the cars, if you will. So cars are getting, they're getting older and they're not getting any prettier.
Okay. That's a great question, Scott, and great answer, Becky. But there are people watching that really don't know what you guys just said. So who are they, right? Let's start with who are they, Scott?
So when the car comes to the market, there may be an effort to take it from a good car to make it a great car. Okay? Kind of like when you get up in the morning and you comb your hair and you put a little something on to make you look a little bit nicer than you did before you got out of bed. Same kind of thing here with the asset. If the reconditioning investment goes up to make it a nicer car, Yeah, that's what I was asking Becky. Is she, now that the valuations have started to stabilize and come down, are the remarketers willing to spend more money to make that car a nicer car? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So is it safe to say that whenever you could take any car off the street, oh, sorry about that. Whenever you could take any car off the street, and remember, it wasn't that long ago. It's what, 3, 6, 8 months?
Oh, you didn't have to do nothing to it, right, Doug?
And it would bring like $5,000 at the auction.
Yeah.
You didn't,
Well,
you didn't need to put any lipstick on any pigs. They would just sell, right?
I don't know what the data is anymore, but it used to be, David, you and Doug and Becky, you could probably chime in as well, but it used to be for every dollar that you spent, you would get, technically speaking, $2 in return. That was kind of the modus operandi, if you will.
Yeah,
that
was the general rule of thumb, if you will. Yeah. And so you always look at what repairs could you do in the wholesale setting more cost effectively than a retail dealer could do without slowing down the rate of sale. And if you can get your money back out of it and then some, it's a really good thing to do. It just makes them more attractive. And you don't want the dealers standing in lane thinking, well, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And they're going the wrong way on price. You want them to look at the car and says, wow, that one's almost frontline ready or frontline ready. And they're going to be all in for it. And you just set the bar higher for all the cars you're selling that day.
You get the retailers that the retailers are trying to, they're very interested in how long it takes to get that car from auction.
I mean, it will take them a significantly longer amount of time if they have to do body work on it, do mechanic work on it. The detailing, I mean, while I'm going to, tout that obviously, you want it to look good going through the lane. That's not going to take the same amount of time that body work and mechanic work will. I mean, I think all of you know, if you drive down the road and pass a mechanic shop or a body shop that's retail, there's cars parked everywhere, and I'm sure there's a wait there. So the more, to Scott's and to Dave's point, the more you can do prior to selling that from the remarketer standpoint, especially, the most noticeable things, it is going to bring more money and it's going to be more value to the dealer buying it. They're not, or the wholesaler, whoever's buying it, they're not going to have to do as much to it post-sale.
Whoa.
Just a second there. Yeah, you actually, Becky, you took me back to Car Conference. What was it, a year or two ago when we first met you? I think we were having a meal, right? And started talking and just listening to you talk about, because what you know about that area, the ins and outs, right? Because you go into auctions and you take care of those services on behalf, right? You can say it better than I can. And then we had you live on some of the shows, but just to hear your expertise in that area it's fascinating. That's one of the things I love about these shows. Dang it, Ty, I'm not going to be there, and you're going to be there next week.
I know. I feel bad for you.
Dang
I do.
Hey, Jay, do you want me to give you the usual report on Ty that we usually do? One or two pages.
Right. Yeah, let's do that. The balcony report.
Well, I want to talk to Aria for a second, because I'm always impressed with Aria and Vic. Is it Vic or Vic? Right?
Vic Kuzmenko.
Yes.
Vic.
Oh, yeah.
I love talking to Aria and Vic, and the reason is because of how much they know. Aria, so what are you seeing in the wholesale world, in the transport world, in the volume? Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing.
I mean, it's really interesting. Obviously, since COVID, there's been a big, spike, from the time that volumes were down for so long with repos on pause and whatnot. For us, because of the different types of clientele we have, it's always interesting to see, if repos are down in autos, we know power sports will be up when power sports are down, but obviously, ties into a lot of other things. Power sports are a lot more difficult to repo as well. So, and if there's all kinds of things that go into it, but I think that it's, finally starting to almost get back to, hopefully, I mean, not where it was or anything, but, we're climbing towards that direction, I think, and it's good to see that. I think there's a lot of interesting things going on in the industry, as well as, there's been a lot of consolidation in the industry as well, you know what I mean? And with a lot of the purchases, the whole Carvana Odessa situation, you know what I mean? And seeing the movement between the relationships of, their clients and how that affects, it's almost like a domino effect as far as all that goes, as far as where the cars go and, the type of money that gets put into it and who those clients are. So I think, having a full understanding or a deep understanding of the automotive ecosystem kind of as a whole is because, when I first got into this industry, I didn't realize that banks even moved cars. I said, what do you mean? I was like, so it's an interesting time right now, but I think I'm very much looking forward to things, steadily getting back to a place where I think we can all kind of breathe a little bit more than we were the past couple of years.
Who was talking about power sports today? Doug?
Ooh.
Scott?
I might have been, yeah.
It was Scott. Okay. Isn't that interesting? She
Well,
just said
you're
power
seeing
sports.
diversification. Yeah, you're seeing some diversification from dealers that are acquiring power sports and marine dealerships as well. So again, as I said earlier, there's a lot of moving parts right now.
Just more consolidation throughout the whole entire industry.
For sure.
It's consolidation. Is consolidation a good thing or a bad thing?
That depends. Well, look at it this way: if I have a customer that's one of these consolidated, one of these large customers, if you lose that large customer, you lose a lot. If you have multiple smaller customers and you lose one, you lose less. So who's going to get the attention? Who's going to get the better lanes? Who's going to get the attention in the recon shop, right? So.
Right. One thing, Dave Sutton, I'm glad you're here because Dave, it's the last, I don't know, couple times ago, you had this statistic about the independent dealer in the lane and the independent dealer consignment. It was something like 80%, 90. Do you remember that by chance?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think what the scenario was. I know that, for I work for a captive finance company, Volkswagen Credit. And so we did all the Audis and VWs and Bentleys in North America. And so when we were selling the cars, we had a strong bias towards our franchise dealers, keeping those vehicles within that ecosystem, as Aria had mentioned, because we wanted to finance those cars again. We wanted to do the floor planning, etc. We wanted those persons who were purchasing a 2 or 3 year old VW, Audi, or Bentley. We want them to have that Volkswagen, Bentley, Audi experience. So the older a car gets, the more attractive and accessible it gets to non-franchise dealers. Typically, those are going to be independents. It's rare that you see a franchise dealer buying near new or late model cars of another brand. They just don't do it. Now, some of the groups, they own multiple brands, multiple stores. So the buyer may be there and he's buying here and there and here and there, but those cars are being sent out to the appropriate stores where they're going to get the best money for them. So the little tip is, typically, if you're going to buy a used car, you're oftentimes going to get a better price, a better deal as a retail consumer if you buy a Ford from a GM dealer, because they took it on trade. They may be thinking, you know what, for me to clean it up, take it to auction, go through that cost and those other stuff. Let's see if we can sell it. Let's keep it on the lot for a couple of weeks.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's just something that, I've turned into a vehicle purchasing consultant for all of my kids' friends. I get calls and emails and texts.
Just go on Facebook with that, right?
No, I'm busy, Jay. You do that.
Sounds like, hey, it sounds like a good TikTok. I like to say that to the kids. They're like, no, Dad. But it does, actually.
There's, I don't know. I've always, the consolidation, non-consolidation, building 20 trucks and hauling cars, I know I had a lot of independent dealers. And I was happy that I had the independent dealer because I did have some larger cars like Buy Here, Pay Here that move a lot of cars. Those guys, they'll take 10 of my trucks and keep them busy all week long. But when they're not doing anything, that causes the problem. So one of the things that I always made a point to do was to have a lot of independent dealers, even if the guy only bought one. And that's a pain in the neck, and everybody knows that, right? But at the same time, that guy buys one every week. It adds up over the course of a year. So you get a bunch of guys that buy one, that are always taking on, they're consistent. They're selling 30 cars a month. That's their goal. Their new goal this month is sell 31. And I love the consolidation. I love that. But at the same time, I feel like I think Doug just said it, something goes wrong. There's a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And those independents that you were hauling one car for, they appreciated it more.
Oh man. Oh yeah, good relationships still to this day. Call them up, their wife, kids, dog, cat, where they live, how long they've been to school, all that stuff. So, but either way, it is a relationship business. No matter if you're dealing with a big company, if you're dealing with a guy who's got 15 cars on his lot. And either way, as a service provider, that's what I always say. You really shouldn't be a transport guy if you don't have a servant heart. And that's where I think this is not an easy business, and it is about relationships, and it's a lot more than driving a truck around. And the more that you can tune into a show like ATI and listen to these guys talk, these experts that have 40 years in the business,
and
30
gals.
Years, and ladies.
You
Thank
know,
you, ladies.
it's a good segue, because I was thinking, let's say there's a transport guy still on the line, grinding it out. My gosh. What's the perspective here? Like, why listen to all this?
This is how you survive in auto transport, and I'll die on that hill for sure. This right here, these are the leaders. These are the guys that have done it. These are the guys that know. And this IARA, and ladies, sorry ladies, but these people on this show right now, this panel, I mean,
if you want to know about remarketing, reconditioning, logistics,
I'll hook you up with Doug, and Dave, and Scott, and Gigi, and
wild.
Aria. I mean, RCG moves a bunch of stuff. They're huge.
Stuff, yeah.
So anyway,
and Hanson Adkins, different marketplace, moves a ton. Yeah, exactly. Gigi's like, come on, I'm on courtesy mute. You guys take care of me.
I'm like, I'm right here. I'm trying to unmute. I was like, we move a lot of stuff too.
Right, I know. Exactly. Come on.
Sorry, Gigi.
Learn sign language just for the show.
Exactly. And we can't leave out Montway, right? And Edge Pipeline. See?
Yeah. So we were talking about moving single cars. Montway's heritage is moving cars for consumers. So most of our moves are one car per order by far, which, the COVID years, if there was a silver lining, it was the dealers needed to buy one car from here wherever they could get them. And we just happen to have a great carrier base who is very adept at, picking up those cars, taking one, handling one. They weren't looking for the full loads. And it really worked out well for us. And it's segued into a great strategy, working with the great people at Auction Edge and Edge Pipeline, being integrated so that when a dealer buys a car, they go to manage my purchases, we give them the price right there. And then if you're going to move more than two, call us, we'll give you a better price. And so we're super excited about that. We're still in baby steps, but as that rolls out, I think that's going to really do a great job for us. And if you do a great job for a dealer, if you take care of them, then you should be in a good position to move their cars from wherever they acquired them from.
Well, I'm still learning about pipeline, but we're talking about a massive pipeline, right? A lot of vehicles move through this technology.
Oh yeah. They're if you look at the tier system, a lot of us play with modeling the industry, like how many cars are being transacted through Manheim and through Open Lane and the upstream and all these other channels. There's a good number of cars that still go through those independent auctions. And you look at the top 100 independent auctions, there are some outstanding operations there. Many of those people are Becky's clients that, these are family owned. The folks who are running them are as passionate about the business as you could ever imagine. And they make great partners.
So it's interesting as we keep talking, because we're going to go another 2 hours. No, I'm going to wrap this up. But as we talk, I mean, it keeps bouncing around the topics, the verticals, people's businesses. That's my favorite thing about trade shows is that it's just nonstop learning, networking.
Grow. Hey, and we didn't even talk about grow. We'll have to do
actually, I was going to bring that up.
Let's bring it up after the conference, the next show.
Well,
I'll be there, and I can tell you how great it is.
So we're gonna learn more about Grow. Here's what I know about Grow as far as timeline. they have their announcement cocktail party next Tuesday, right before we go live. So we'll talk about it a little bit live, but actually the next day, and I saw Aria shaking her head, yeah, because she knows about it too, is that Kelly Bianchi is going to talk about Grow live on ATI the day after they have that cocktail announcement. So, and am I right? Is there 11 core founders? It sounds like quite an organization. Yeah.
I think there's 11
creators, or I don't know.
I don't know if I don't know if they're necessarily board members. I forget how they phrased it, but there will be 11 people on the board. We'll call it a board. I'm trying to remember what the right terminology was.
So starting with those 11 names, that's interesting. I know Sheila Tedesco is on there. I know, Sheila Tedesco, Shelley Frank, Kelly Bianchi. Those are the 3 names that I know right now.
Yeah, I think they were the ones who kind of grew this and thought up the idea and started the Grow movement.
So we're going to learn more about it next week. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it should be good. I know they've all worked really hard at getting this together and promoting it. And I think it's a really great idea and very beneficial for sure.
There's Ty. Ty left. No, he's back. All right, just in time to say goodbye. I do final thoughts. I know that these shows run long. There's Ty. Anybody have anything? We miss anything? We covered Grow, which is cool. Briefly. Is there anything we missed or something somebody wanted to say, or I don't know, that you're looking forward to? Agenda?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. You're excited.
I'll say that. I'm super excited. It's my first one.
It's your first one.
I've always been on
Really?
the other side.
And now you know Becky, you know Aria, Dave, Scott,
Plant
Doug,
World for 16 years.
Ty. Yeah.
Whoa.
When do you get in? When is everybody getting in? Is it Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
I'm getting on Monday.
Oh, okay.
Night.
Tuesday.
So if anybody's there.
Tuesday. Okay.
Tuesday. Well, we'll all have to do a group hug. How I always like to do this. Anybody here that didn't know anybody, like when you came on? I mean, Gigi probably.
Gigi's a new face for me, so I look forward to meeting you.
Awesome.
Likewise.
That's what we do.
And Dave Larson is a good friend for many, many, many years. So if there's anything I can do to help next week, you just let me know, please.
Everything. And you're like a chaperone.
Yeah.
And Dave Larson got me. Dave Larson got me started at United Road years ago. So, yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he told me about you, so I'm excited.
Scott Kolb. All right.
I will say my favorite place in Chicago, if you all have some extra time, is a fantastic establishment called The Lodge.
The Lodge? Okay.
Lodge.
I don't think anybody on this call has been with me to The Lodge. But,
What is it? I'm gonna miss it. What is The Lodge?
Whoa.
I'm just going to tell you.
That's it. Yeah.
out The Lodge.
I'll get to know, Jay.
Come on, Jay.
Okay.
Got it.
Hey, to play.
All right, Google
I
it.
told you, I'm the kid that
catch up
asked
with
the
me.
dumb questions.
You can all catch up with me later and tell you how that went.
Awesome.
Nice.
On the
Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, well,
Great show.
we gotta say goodbye in some fashion way. So I'm so excited that we got to do this again. Becky, we'll see you in 2024 for the IARA Summer Roundtable Energy. You're already enlisted for that.
Perfect.
Gigi, I hope you have a great show. Right?
Thank you.
I know
Me
it's
too.
a great experience.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks,
for
Gigi. Good to see
joining
you.
us. Yeah, it's good to
See you next week.
Good to see you too.
Aria, we'll catch you on the next one. I know
Done.
you go to a lot of shows, so
Yes,
you know.
definitely. I'll
Keep
see
it
you
going.
guys.
Doug, thank you for being here. Thanks for adding.
Anytime. Call me.
Really appreciate
job.
that. It was awesome.
And I'll
We'll
see
see
you
you in
guys. I'll
November.
see you guys at
Used car week.
Remarketing.
Yeah. We're going to be there. All right.
Yep. Scott, Dave, thanks for being on Guitars and Cars the other night.
Oh, that was
Catch
fun.
up with you, Kansas
That was
City.
That was
Shout
great.
out.
Good to see you.
And
All
Scott, thanks for the long phone call. I had a long phone call with Scott today. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows about
Great
that.
talking to you, Scott. It's awesome.
All right.
Likewise.
All right.
Yeah, man, it's really, really cool. This is an
Thanks,
amazing
everybody.
ecosystem. Thanks for being a part of it.
Have a great
Bye,
night.
all.
Into your world.
Thanks.
Great seeing
Thanks,
you all.
guys.
Everybody. Appreciate it. That was really cool. It was
Thank
really
you.
fun.
Bye.
It's like a living postcard. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so that's it. Everybody's gone. The party's over. It is hard to figure out how to end a show. It's hard. So, because, you know, it is, and that's actually why I do the energy show, because these events are so much work I can't even imagine putting together. Like a summer roundtable are expecting 300. Talking about, you know, automotive remarketing professionals, very busy. Lots of money. Think of the money. Think of the business. Oh my gosh. And so just to even dip a toe with an energy show on a Tuesday night is a wonderful thing, and I really appreciate everybody taking the time. And I know exactly. Gary's like, don't you guys have day jobs? Yeah, I know, right? But that's the thing, is these trade shows, if you're an industry professional, executive, it is part of your business day is to get to some of these shows and see folks and learn new information and network. So I want to thank everybody for being on the show tonight. Again, we started with Jose Delgado, Location Services, and then we added Scott Kolb and Dave Sutton and Doug Hadden. Really appreciate those gentlemen. And then we got to add Aria, Tactaquin, Gigi, Ferris, and Becky Anderson, and that makes for a great show and excitement, real energy on the table as they lead into the Summer Roundtable next week. So if you're going to the show, have a great show. Keep me posted. We're actually going to go live next Tuesday night. Ty will be live at the Summer Roundtable. I'll be here in Studio 1, and then we will do live coverage the next day, and hopefully catch up with Kelly Bianchi to learn more about Grow. If you made it in the live chat, if you caught any part of tonight's show, thank you for doing that. Really do appreciate you. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you made some notes of something you want to learn more about, and let us know how we can help. Really appreciate AuctionVCommerce, Location Services, Murphy Auto Transport, Dispatch, Superflow Systems, Super Dispatch, Rapid Recon, and Auto Hauler Exchange. And thank you for being in the live chat. Really do appreciate it. Let us know how we can help. I'm going to run the car hauler. We'll be back. Let's see. No show tomorrow. No show Thursday. I'm out of the office Thursday. But we'll be back for dealer website cleanup. Only on ATI Auto Business on Friday on Cars on the Move at noon. Please do join us for that. Otherwise, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody. Good night.